menus here on phillipsburglive.com. Your cafeteria menus brought to you by godslovelive.com, www.godslovelive.com, bringing you God's Love Live on the internet each and every day. Check it out. Those are your cafeteria menus. We got all kinds of great stuff coming up yet. We've got Pat Karak. We've got Lynn Andrews right after the weather. And in the 7 o'clock hour, our proverb reading of the day. It was Blue Oyster Cult here on phillipsburglive.com with Chuckles in the morning. Hope you're having a great morning. Hope you're enjoying the music, staying safe, happy, and healthy out there. And shoot us a note. Tell us all about it. Tell us what's going on. If your nonprofit group organization has an event you'd like to promote here on phillipsburglive.com, all you got to do is shoot us a note, chuckles at phillipsburglive.com, and we will promote it for you here on Phillipsburg Live. Give us at least a week so that we can properly promote your event. But send us the info as soon as you can get it. Coming up in the next break, we're going to do our proverb reading of the day. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 4. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 4. Our proverb reading of the day coming right up. Eddie Money, walk on water after the weather. This time now, your weather forecast. You're on. I have the music turned way down because otherwise it will mute it on the videos. So that was the Climax Blues Band. I love you here on phillipsburglive.com with your phillipsburglive.com, your destination station for community at its finest. Chuckles in the morning, the best classic hits all day long. It's time for our proverb of the day, the soothing tongue. Proverbs 15, verse 4, the soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse tongue crushes the spirit. A perverse tongue crushes the spirit. And it doesn't have to curse. It doesn't have to use ignorant words to do so. You can be perfectly polite, nice, and even seem loving, but just crush someone's spirit with your tongue, can't you? I think you can. Ooh, we've got Rolling Stones coming up. The Eagles, I'll Dance Like David Danced from Salvador. Big country, and right now it's Eric Church, Like Jesus Does. That was I'll Dance Like David Danced, Salvador, here on phillipsburglive.com, your destination station for community at its finest. Chuckles in the morning, the best classic hits all day long. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're enjoying the music and staying safe, happy, and healthy. And that great gospel music is brought to us oftentimes by our friends and partners, R&B Auto Pros and God'sLoveLive.com, bringing us great gospel all day long. God's Love, live on the internet, www.godslovelive.com, and a whole lot of talk. Not so much in the morning, but a whole lot of talk in the afternoon. Noon to 4, if you ain't doing anything else. I mean, if you're here listening, then enjoy this. But if you're looking for a little bit of what do they call that? Variety in your day, tune in from noon to 4, www.godslovelive.com, and check out all the great stuff that we talk about on there and all the great resources we have on the website. Today from noon to 4, we'll be talking about partnering with Messiah in a real practical way and how fear, we are starting a new segment today, defeating the fear in our lives daily through the reading of Scripture and discussion of our fears. We're going to put them out there, and we're going to just constantly beat them up. And we're going to beat them up. We're going to defeat that fear, because fear is a liar. That is true. And you can find us at facebook.com/God'sLove2024. Call or text 814-651-8865. Or live 24/7 gospel tunes with a little bit of talk here and there, hopefully that lifts you up. That's God'sLoveLive.com. Please consider clicking on the donate button at godslovelive.com and helping us to keep God's Love Live up and running. Now, back to the music with the Rolling Stones right after the weather. This time now, your weather forecast, you're on. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to take a couple minutes real quick just to explain for those who maybe plopped into this video. I decided to start doing the videos, recording videos of my morning programs as I'm doing them. I'm doing it partially sort of live because I do the first couple hours in recordings so that I'm here and I can kind of watch, and then I will record the 9 and 10 o'clock like hours, but I'll like the 9:20 break I'll record at 9:15. The 9:34 break I'll record at 9:17 or 18 or 9:25, whatever. I decided to do this so that people could come check out, see exactly what it looks like. It's very boring, quite honestly. If I tell these people towards the end of the day on Phillipsburg Live, hey, you can go check out the Phillipsburg Live video and see Chuck. You don't even get to listen to the music. You just get to see Chuckles talking and acting like an idiot, which is to say pretty much exactly what you see if you are a friend or family member and ever come to my home. Da-da-da. It is what it is. But I have the music turned way down so that the filters won't catch it and mute us due to copyrighted materials. That was Pat Benatar here on PhillipsburgLive.com with Chuckles in the morning. What a beautiful morning it is. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you're enjoying the music and staying safe, happy, and healthy out there. And I hope you're ready for this. We've got an hour of great music for you. We've got the Cranberries, Def Leppard, Rick Astley, James Taylor, and coming up right after the weather, it's the Bee Gees, Staying Alive. I should do there's a mix that has Staying Alive and one of the AC/DC songs, maybe Back in Black, maybe. I should download that and play it on here. That'd be great. So, How Sweet It Is. That's James Taylor. Woo. That was James Taylor with How Sweet It Is here on Phillipsburg Live, your destination station for community at its finest. Chuckles in the morning. The best classic hits all day long. Take a moment to thank our partners at olihemp.com. olihemp.com helping to keep Phillipsburg Live and God's Love Live, for that matter, up and running with sponsorships and all kinds of great stuff. They've got amazing products. I'm going to tell you about Oli Hemp, okay? Oli Hemp has always been very supportive of what I'm doing. I met them a couple years ago when I was working for a radio station in Reading, when I was still working for WEEU, and the former owners of WEEU, Twilight Broadcasting. Boy, I miss those guys. We had so much fun a couple years that we did well, but then COVID came, and yeah. And then when I left Twilight, because they sold some stations because of troubles, I had an opportunity to continue on with our local station, WPHB, but the new owners of WPHB were not going to stick to the local programming. They wanted to pipe in some programming from a nationally syndicated kind of programmer show, and I listen, they were great guys. They were doing what they thought was best, and the guy that bought the station, I love him. He's a great guy. Still to this day, we are great friends. It's just that I couldn't get behind where he was going with the station. But it was his. He bought it, so it was up to him to do what he felt necessary. It's since been sold off to another company and is a whole different thing now. So, Oli Hemp came with me when I left and said, nope, we're going to keep supporting whatever you're doing, Chuck, as did a couple of people. And we really appreciate those folks who have been 100% behind us from day one. Now, one of the reasons that Oli Hemp is such a supporter of us is because he knows that it is not hard for me to tell you how great his products are. Not hard at all. I use them pretty near daily. Every once in a while I'll forget to put on my cream during the day or whatever, but he's got a salve that just helps my feet something awful. I'm diabetic. I've had problems with my feet. It's great. I love it. He has a pain spray or pain roll-on. There's a roll-on that you can get that's it's to help. It kind of relieves pain, and it works wonders. And their coffee. Oh, don't get me started on their coffee. Go to olyhemp.com right now. Check out their amazing products. Enter code PLIVE10. That's PLIVE10. Enter code PLIVE10. You'll get 10% off your purchase. The Cranberries coming up. Def Leppard, Doobie Brothers. Right now it's John Mellencamp on PhillipsburgLive.com.
You are listening to PhillipsburgLive.com.
Yeah, okay. What's next? Okay. Da-da-da-da. So this video is going to be fairly boring, but that was the Cranberries. Linger here on PhillipsburgLive.com, your destination station for community at its finest. Chuckles in the morning, the best classic hits all day long. I have entirely too much fun doing this. It's entirely too much fun doing this. But I do want to tell you, let's get serious for just a second. I want to talk about our Phillipsburg Recovers project. Phillipsburg Recovers project. Go to Facebook.com/Phillipsburg Recovers today. Facebook.com/Phillipsburg Recovers. Phillipsburg Recovery Project trying to bring about Phillipsburg Recovery Day. Phillipsburg Recovery Day is a day when we celebrate those who are already in recovery from whatever addiction they are recovering from, and try to bring a message of love to those who need recovery. So go to Facebook.com/Phillipsburg Recovers today. And if you'd like to donate to help make Phillipsburg Recovery Day a reality, go to www.godslovelive.com. Click on the donate button at the top of on the menu bar, and then you'll see, you scroll down a little bit and you'll see Phillipsburg Recovers. You'll see a little button there that says Phillipsburg Recovers. You click on that and you can donate. Anything donated to that through that button goes directly to the Phillipsburg Recovers project. Anything donated to God's Love Live that is needed, that isn't needed, anything above what our monthly expenses are, we're going to spill into Phillipsburg Recovers. And for the entire month of March, whatever we get in donations, there is a gentleman who has offered to double it. He wants to remain anonymous, so he will, but he said everything you get in donations for the month of March, Chuckles, everything you get in donation for the month of March. And he did this because he says, I'm not talking enough about needing donations to help us with God's Love Live and Phillipsburg Recovers. And he said, maybe if I offer to double it, maybe you'll talk about it more. And he's probably not wrong, because I will talk about it more now that somebody's like, okay, man, whatever you get in donations, that's what I'm gonna double it. So you go now, godslovelive.com, click donate. You donate $5, that's 10 that we can use to help people who need recovery. Def Leppard coming up after the weather here on phillipsburglive.com. Yeah, so I just had that. I just got a confirmation a little while ago, actually, an email from someone who says he would like to double whatever donations we get in. So I would really appreciate if you, watching the video here, if you would consider going to godslovelive.com, clicking the donate button, or donate through Cash App there. The Cash App, the link for Cash App is on that site. The Recovery Day button and the God's Love Live button. Now, he did say it doesn't matter which fund they donate to, whether it's Recovers, Phillipsburg Recovers, or God's Love Live. He said, you're just going to give me the number at the end of the month, and he said, I'm going to cut you a check for that to match it. So he's matching our donation. So please consider donating. If you're going to ever consider donating this month, because it'll mean twice as much. It'll mean the world to us, period, but it'll mean twice as much this month, as somebody is going to double our donations by matching anything that comes in. That's amazing, you know? All right, let's see. We're going to get back to the show here. That was Steve Earle, Hillbilly Highway, here on PhillipsburgLive.com with Chuckles in the morning. What a beautiful morning it is. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you're enjoying the music, staying safe, happy, and healthy out there. It is just a little bit after 9 o'clock. What a beautiful morning it is turning out to be. A little bit of sunshine out there today. Just a little. Stick around, check out the weather. We'll have your weather forecast coming up for you here shortly, and all of the great news coming up. The news of early spring. I was out with my wife Monday. Monday we went to our board meeting at our church, and when we went, my wife says to me, she's like, "What are you doing? You're wearing shorts and a t-shirt." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's spring." She said, "It's not really spring yet." She's like, "It's not really spring yet. It's still very cold out, and it's going to get cold tonight, and you're going to be cold." And I'm like, "No, I have committed to the fact that spring is here." I said, "I have decided that I will not live in winter anymore. Spring has come." I do this a lot, like pretty much every year. And we get closer and closer to spring, I'll throw on my shorts and be like, "That's it. I'm going to make it happen. By being in shorts, I'm going to make spring come by." Of course I can't, but I'm sticking to my guns. Shorts and a t-shirt, and dressed nice and cozily for me, which means if it does get cold, I'll be freezing. That's okay, I don't mind. All right, let's get back to it. Back to the music here on God's Love Live or on Phillipsburg Live. I've been preparing to do God's Love Live. After this, I'm gonna flip over there and do that show today. And it's like, oh yeah, okay. I've been back and forth, and having the two of them and doing a 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. show over there and a 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. show over here means I sometimes goof them up. Greg Trooper right now, long days here on God's Love Live. Nope, see, I did it again. Here on PhillipsburgLive.com. I got myself all confused as I'm recording today's show for Phillipsburg Live. I kind of goofed it. It happens. What can I say? Let's see. Casting Crowns. I'm going to have to do this when I do God's Love Live, too, because I don't want you guys to... I don't want to mute the videos, you know. That's Casting Crowns, Make Me a River, here on PhillipsburgLive.com, your destination station for community at its finest. Chuckles in the morning, and the best classic hits all the ding-dong day long. How you doing, folks? Hope you're having a great day. I hope you're enjoying the music, staying safe, happy, and healthy out there. We've got a new partner sponsoring our... well, we're in negotiations right now. Let's put it that way. We haven't fully gone there yet, but I feel that we're going to, and I start right away. I want to tell you right away, because even if they end up not partnering with us and coming up for the event, they're a great organization that could absolutely use some help from us. So, padcentral.org. Their email is info@padcentral.org. It's the Phoenix Assistance Dogs. padcentral.org. Phoenix Assistance Dogs. And as somebody who has a dog, I can tell you, they do just make life better. Like children and grandchildren and the love of God, dogs can improve your day every single day. A lot of times at home, I don't tell my wife I said this, but cats are the same way. I've told my wife for years, I don't like cats. We got this cat, Bowser, and my wife, he was abandoned by his mother out in the woods, and my daughter Nakoma found him, and I always said I don't like cats, but I'm also not a cruel human being. So when this cat was found, and he was abandoned as a 3-week-old baby, so he was going to die. And Nakoma took him, and I was like, all right. I said, honey, you realize he might not make it. You need to be prepared for that. And she's like, I am, but I'm going to do my best. She went and got some kitten formula. She went to the vet and said, okay, what do I do? And they told her, and oh, he's a pain in my ass now. He's big, big and feisty, and I will not admit this. Do not tell my wife I said this, but I love him. A lot of times in the morning I'll walk out and I'll get my coffee. I'm getting ready to start my work day, and he comes over and he'll rub on my legs and say good morning to me, and it cheers me up. It does me some good for the day. So Pad Central, Phoenix Assistance Dogs, padcentral.org. Go check them out today. Marty Stewart with Johnny Cash right after the weather on phillipsburglive.com. Sending out these notices and trying to get people to come on board to help us with Phillipsburg Recovers Project, and people are embracing it. I'm just hoping that we can get where we need to be. That was Hall & Oates, Out of Touch, here on phillipsburglive.com with Chuckles in the morning. What a beautiful morning it is. I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're enjoying the music. I hope you're staying safe, happy, healthy, and warm out there. Shoot me a note. Tell me all about it. Chuckles at phillipsburglive.com. Chuckles at phillipsburglive.com. Let's see what's going on today. Well, yesterday, President Joe Biden, as expected, won most of the Democratic primary contests that took place on Super Tuesday. But he was also handed his first loss of the 2024 primary season at the hands of a candidate hardly anyone had heard of before Tuesday evening's events roll in. Yeah, he lost in American Samoa to some guy that nobody even knows who he is. But it's American Samoa. I'm guessing the president probably didn't spend too much time or effort trying to convince those people to vote for him, because it's probably not a large community. But man, that's weird. Like, I didn't expect he would lose anything, really. The other day, former President Donald Trump lost in D.C. And I told my wife, I said, is that a surprise? Like, D.C. is a leftist Democrat stronghold, man. All right, back to the music. Lauren Daigle coming up, oh Lord, right now on phillipsburglive.com. My morning shows, you're going to find that I do talk, although I do a proverb reading, and I do our psalm reading, and I do some other, I got to do the psalm reading because I forgot to do that in the 8 o'clock hour, so that's what we'll do in this next break. Although I do all of that, I also do touch on some things, but if you want to know my personal opinion, I will absolutely tell you my personal opinion. I will be voting for Donald J. Trump. None of the other challengers to his position as our nominee seem to be. I would have voted for Ron DeSantis in the primary, but he didn't make it long enough to be in my primary here in Pennsylvania, so I'm going to probably vote for Donald Trump. I am going to, because I don't think there's anybody left on the primary ballots. I saw a thing this morning and said Nikki Haley was backing out. But what I will tell you, if you're watching my video, is that I respect and have compassion for our current president. And some of you might be like, wait, what a second. No, listen, I take what Peter says in 2 Peter. I take what Jesus says, first and foremost. But especially if you look at Peter, and we did this in our study of Peter, we did a character study of Peter. And in our character study of Peter, in 2 Peter, we saw that Peter, who was a militant, who wanted to, I'm trying to remember now if it was 2 Peter or 1 Peter. I think it was 2 Peter, yeah. I'm trying to find it real quick so I can, talk about it. Peter in, let's see. There was also a false prophet. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Okay, maybe it was. Maybe it was. See, now I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to find it and talk with you guys about it after this current break here. That was George Strait. If you ain't loving, you ain't living here on PhillipsburgLive.com. Your destination station for community at its best. Chuckles in the morning, the best classic hits all day long. I was just talking on the video about a section of Peter. It's First Peter, chapter 2, and it starts in verse 11. And I was just talking about this because I was talking about, in the last break, I was talking about President Biden lost in American Samoa. President Trump lost to Nikki Haley in Washington, D.C., and both of these are very important. But I was wanting to talk about, because personally I have my personal opinions, but when it comes to this whole hating on everybody, I will be voting for Donald Trump because he does not support killing babies. That's the line for me. Understand that does not mean that I think we should, stone people to death if they're promoting choice, because I said very clearly in a video the other day that I believe Jesus is pro-choice. Pretty sure he proved it because he came here and gave us a choice. Follow him, love him, set aside our own selfish fleshly desires, or perish in eternal torment and damnation. That's our choice. But it's a choice, and he gave us that choice freely. We get to choose. So, do I think abortion is murder? Yes. Do I think it's a sin? Yes. But Jesus gave you the choice to sin. So, however, I had said that I will be voting for Donald Trump because of the abortion thing. That's just one. There's a couple of reasons. But and I said I still respect Joe Biden. And if he wins in November, although I will not be overly joyed about it, I will submit myself to the authorities of this nation as long as it doesn't take me against my Lord's will. And I don't believe that a nation that legalizes abortion makes me a sinner because I didn't vote for the guy. But Peter, a militant who, while Jesus was alive, wanted to fight a war for him, after he is crucified and resurrected, Peter is teaching in First Peter chapter 2, and you look in verse 13. I'd say read the whole thing, but we're going to start in verse 13 for what we're going to talk about. Submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human authority, whether to the emperor as supreme authority or the governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and commend those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence ignorant talk of foolish people. Live as free people, but do not use your freedom as a cover for evil. Live as God's slaves. Show proper respect to everyone. Love the family of believers. Fear God and honor the emperor. That's a pretty complete turnaround, number one, from Peter and what he wanted in the garden when he drew his sword. But it's also a very, very unmistakable statement. And if you go back and you look through the teachings of Christ through the Gospels, you're going to find it aligns, that statement that Peter made aligns with our Savior's statements. So there you go. Back to the music. Merle Haggard right after the weather on PhillipsburgLive.com. I don't know why I did that. But I am kind of crazy. Okay, let's see. This hour I won't really do much in the way of preaching. I'm not trying to do that at all, but some of this stuff is very important, man. That was Kansas, Point of No Return, here on PhillipsburgLive.com. And on my screen, it's Point of No Return, KNOW. Now I'm going to have to go look and see if that's like what it's supposed to be. Because, yeah, it is. I'll be darned. The title is Point of No, spelled K-N-O-W, Return. All right, I may have to actually look into those lyrics. I've listened to that song most of my life because it came out, when I was a youngin'. When I was just a youngin'. It came out when I was very young. Actually came out before I was even old enough to... Well, no, I was 1997. I was 4 years old. My love of music probably started somewhere around there because my uncle used to play music for me all the time. And I did love it from pretty much day one. So I had to go check that out. Point of No Return. All right, listen. Oh. What do you think of this thing? Them trying to get Trump removed from ballots all over the country. Supreme Court just the other day, I didn't read all of it, but there's a lot of stuff going on. But I did see a thing the other day that said something about the Supreme Court overturned Trump being removed from the ballot in Colorado. And I don't think they're going to get, I don't think this is going to do anybody. Let's see if I can find something that's... Trump wins Colorado ballot disqualification case at U.S. Supreme Court. So if Colorado went to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court said, nope, sorry, you can't take him off the ballot. Why are they trying to do it in other states? Because if the Supreme Court is like, no, we're not doing it, they have a good reason. Now, first of all, someone wrote on social media, someone called Griswold wrote, Colorado should be able to bar oath-breaking insurrectionists from our ballot. Well, that's garbage to begin with. Let's just start with that. This whole insurrection crap from January 6th is just garbage. Most of those people walked in, they were invited, the cops opened the doors for them. Okay? But let's just for a second assume that it was a horrible insurrection and that people's lives were at stake, which I don't think there was. The only person that got killed was the woman that got shot who was part of the protest. Okay? Now, did they go too far? We can discuss that all day long. Was some of what happened in the Capitol wrong? Absolutely. But Trump started by repeatedly saying, if you're going to go protest, do so peacefully. If you're going to go protest, do so peacefully. Honor our men and women in law enforcement. Honor our country's law and order background. Like he was telling them the whole way through it. And he was on the other side of town, by the way, when this thing was happening. You'd have to show me something real convincing to make me think it's possible. Am I going to sit here and say it's not possible that he was up on stage saying, peacefully protest? While meanwhile, back in the back rooms, he was going, man, light those bastards up. Hey, yeah, it's possible. Prove it. Now remember, before if you decide you want to prove me wrong on something, before you start looking at how you're going to do that, remember one thing. You're going to have real proof. Because I am of the persuasion that, personally, I believe without a shadow of a doubt that O.J. Simpson either killed his wife and her friend, or arranged it, paid for it, whatever. I believe that personally. But he was found not guilty, so he's not guilty. Period. He's innocent because they didn't find him guilty. That's how it's supposed to work. And if it doesn't work that way, then our justice system is garbage. We need to burn it all down and start over. That's the truth. You may not like it. It may not be popular. It may not even be sensible. But it's the truth. Van Halen with Dreams coming up after the weather. I get myself in all kinds of trouble. I just know between now and November I'm going to get myself in all kinds of trouble because I can't even, like, back in 2016 they said to me, somebody cornered me and they were like, you need to tell me what you think. Who's going to win? Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton? And I had had enough. I was on a local radio station at the time, and by the time I got to this point, I'd had enough. So I looked at the guy and I was like, listen, I can tell you one thing for sure. No matter who wins the election, we all lose. That was my opinion in, like, September, October of 2016. I had a very low opinion of Donald Trump as a person. I still have a pretty low opinion of Donald Trump as a person. Not that he cares. But as a person, I don't think I could be friends. I don't know. I met him once at a WWE event. I was helping to set up. I used to work setting up, the rings and stuff. And I met Donald Trump at the craft services table. I've told people about this before. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the air, but I've told people about this before. We were sitting there at craft services having, like, I don't know, a sausage sandwich or something. They do a pretty good job. WWE takes care of people that set their stuff up. And all of their, workers. But we're sitting there at the craft services table eating. I think I had some fries and a sausage sandwich. And here comes Donald Trump, of all people, walks over. Hey, man, is that sausage sandwich any good? And it took me a second, so there was a guy next to me also having a sausage sandwich. He answered a little faster. He was like, yeah, man. He says, it's really good. It's cooked well, and I'm loving the flavors, and the French fries are crispy and salty. They're perfect. So Donald Trump, goes over to the craft services area and gets a sausage sandwich with some French fries, comes back over to the table and sits down. There were like 3 or 4 of us sitting there, and he just proceeds to start talking to us like we're all the same. So, should we take away his Twitter? Probably. Is he crass and sometimes disturbing in the things that he says and does? Absolutely. Every politician is. Every big star is. Every celebrity is. Every famous person is. Every rich person is. Every person is in some way or another. But to sit across the table from him, and he was a billionaire already. He was, he's been a billionaire for years. He was a hugely rich, and he was a star in WWE at the time. And he just walked over, sat down. So, and there were other people. Triple H, if you know who he is, he came over. It's Chris Jericho. That was the first time I met Chris Jericho. I actually got to meet him 3 or 4 times, but that was the first time I met Chris Jericho. Hulk Hogan, met him a couple of times back in the 80s and 90s. They were all nice guys. Vince McMahon, I've seen a lot about how terrible he is, but I didn't see that personally when we were working because he would come over. He'd come over to the craft services table too and talk to people. Now he didn't sit down and eat a sandwich with them and chat for. He sat there. Donald Trump sat there for like half an hour talking to these guys, and they were all comfortable with him. By the time he was getting ready to leave, we were joking. By the time we were getting ready to go back to work, which is about a half hour, we took about a half hour break, maybe a little bit longer. By the time we were getting ready to go back to what we were doing, we were all so comfortable with him. We were joking and messing around. So he's a real person. I've never met Joe Biden, so I don't know if he's a real person, although I think he might be a victim. I think we could explore that. I also think that, what's that senator in Pennsylvania? What's his last? Fetterman. Is it John Fetterman? I think that's right. Anyway, his last name's Fetterman. The man had a stroke just before the primaries. And they shoved him. I know because my father had a stroke. I know because there are other people who I know that I care about that have had strokes. It takes a while to recover. And yet, they shoved him days, maybe a week or 2, whatever it was. I don't know the actual time, but it wasn't long. Back out onto the campaign trail going, no, I've got to win that election. And they were running against a Democrat because Dr. Oz is a Democrat in wearing a red jacket. I don't believe that Dr. Oz is a Republican. I don't believe half of what he spews. So it's not like they were running against, an actual conservative. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? If you'd like me to talk more about this on our videos and stuff, shoot me a message, chuckles@phillipsburglive.com. We'll do that. We'll do it. Don Williams with Tulsa Time. Oh, wait. We're not on the air. Okay, so I'm just going to go do this break here. Oh, Chuckles, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Going to get muted. That was Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, here on phillipsburglive.com with Chuckles in the morning. The best classic hits all day long and community at its finest. phillipsburglive.com. We're coming up on, is it 3? When did I launch this? 2021. On November 1st, it'll be 3 years of Phillipsburg Live. Thanks to you guys and thanks to our sponsors and our supporters. It'll be 3 years that Phillipsburg Live has been the new WPHB. They gave up the name WPHB now, so I'm thinking about trying to get it. Turn this into, our local radio station. Spread the word, man. Shoot out messages to your friends. Share everything you can about how we do this, because this station is set up basically like the old station was. I still do cafeteria menus in the morning, if you weren't listening at 6. Still do the weather. I want to bring back the obituaries. I have done weekly obituaries. Every Friday we do obituaries. So I am trying to keep them, but and thankfully there aren't enough people dying that we have to do daily obituaries. That's good. There's been some days where it was like, there's not really a lot to do, so we're going to wait till tomorrow and we'll combine a couple of them. Shoot me a note. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you'd like to hear on here. I want this to be interactive. Phillipsburg Live is to serve our community. Let me serve our community. Let us serve our community by telling us what you need. Rend Collective coming up. Aerosmith, ELO, Asia. Right now it's Don Williams. Right now it's Don Williams with Tulsa Time on phillipsburglive.com. I love that song. Absolutely love that song. It's one of my favorite Don Williams songs, Tulsa Time. Of course, also I like the one, I Love Beer. I don't even like beer, but I like his song, I Like Beer. That was Rend Collective, Immeasurably More, here on phillipsburglive.com with Chuckles in the morning. Classic hits all day long and community at its finest. If your nonprofit group organization has an event you'd like to promote here on Phillipsburg Live, shoot us a note. Tell us all about it. Chuckles@phillipsburglive.com. And our community service bulletin board, our community events announcements are brought to you in part by godslovelive.com. Go check out God's Love Live's amazing resources bringing you God's Love Live each day on the internet. Don't forget also our friends at R&B Auto Pros. R&B Auto Pros, the old Turnpike Road in Morrisdale, 814-342-0819, 342-0819, and our friends at Bombshell Salon, 999 Turnpike, Tyrone Pike, 999 Tyrone Pike in Phillipsburg, 814-343-6556, 814-643-6556. Again, 814-343-6556. Give them a call today. Jay and the girls can hook you up at Bombshell Salon. Now, back to the music with Asia. Heat of the moment, right after the weather. Oh, man, we got the last hour of Phillipsburg Live we're going to do right now, and then I'm going to get started on God's Love Live. What's our video time at? Maybe I'll cut it and make this, and then I'll just go, because it's almost an hour. I start posting some of this stuff up to YouTube. That was the Police, Every Little Thing She Does, here on phillipsburglive.com with Chuckles in the morning. And it's a beautiful morning. I want to invite you to come on over to God's Love Live. Listen, if you're listening at phillipsburglive.com at 12 o'clock, all you have to do is go to that little button at the top where there's an arrow to the left or the right next to the play button. hit the left or right. Doesn't matter which one because it's going to go to phillipsburglive.com or godslovelive.com. And you can come over and hear what we're talking about if you're interested. Or just go to godslovelive.com, and if it doesn't start playing, hit the play button. Three Dog Night coming right up on phillipsburglive.com. I wish I could play. I need to get a license so that I could let this music play throughout the day on the videos. That's Eric Clapton, wonderful tonight here on phillipsburglive.com with Chuckles in the morning. Best classic hits all day long. And community at its finest. We're going to get right back to the music. We're going to make this a very short break. Going to give you your 11 o'clock hour to just enjoy the music. We got Phil Collins, the Pet Shop Boys, Duran Duran. I want to remind you that if your nonprofit group or organization has an event you'd like to promote here on Phillipsburg Live, email Chuckles at phillipsburglive.com. Chuckles at phillipsburglive.com if you have an event you'd like to promote. Right now, it's Rat Round and Round on phillipsburglive.com.
You're listening to phillipsburglive.com.
24 hours a day.
Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls here on phillipsburglive.com with Chuckles in the morning. Our morning is about over. Does it make you sad like it does me? It does. It really does. I've thought about just continuing throughout noon, 1, 2, 3. I could just talk all day on the radio, but I've got other things to do because we want to keep this radio station up and running. Go check out Phillipsburg Recovers. Facebook.com/Phillipsburg Recovers. Facebook.com/Phillipsburg Recovers. Go check it out today. Go to godslovelive.com, hit donate there. Help us out to keep that up and running and to get the Phillipsburg Recovery Project underway. Please. Now, have a great night. We'll talk to you later. Unless, of course, you come over to God's Love Live for the afternoon show. Duran, John Fogerty, Boston. And right now it's Donnie Iris, Leah. Right after the weather. Okay, I know this wasn't, our normal video, but thank you for watching. I'm going to start doing this to try to promote Phillipsburg Live a little bit more because I've been kind of slacking in the promotion of Phillipsburg Live, but I do want you to go check out Facebook.com/Phillipsburg Recovers. Facebook.com/GodsLove2024. Go like and share both of those. Go to GodsLoveLive.com. Check out our audio programming on GodsLoveLive.com. Stay tuned later this afternoon for our video, our afternoon video from God's Love Live, where we talk a lot more about these biblical principles that we should live by. Thank you, and have a great day.